Okay, Coach. We'll now begin with questions in the room. As a reminder, we ask that you please raise your hands to be called upon both in the room and via Zoom. And please state your name and affiliation before asking your question.
I mean, we're doing it here first.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys. Go
I
ahead.
think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I need to see some hands. The lady said we need to see some. Yes.
Scott French from Soccer America.
There we go.
Hey Steve, can you talk a little bit about what we've seen from Max as this season has progressed, as he's come back, and especially as we've gotten into the playoffs?
I think a normal healing process for a very complicated injury, meaning it takes a lot of time and effort and expertise from all sides, whether it's rehab coaches, the doctors, physical therapists, and most importantly, Max, to mentally stay engaged the entire season, to get ready, to put yourself in a position where if you're called upon at the end of the season, you're ready to go. So Max put in a ton of work, many hours. So all the credit to him and the team here, the medical team, and our doctors to get him ready. Since he played his first game, I believe that was against the Galaxy, he has continued with his strength, his explosiveness, more touches on the ball, more comfortable playing out of the back. And then for any goalkeeper, it's always about shot stopping. So I think he's just continued down the same path he had all season, was getting better and better and better. And he's now in obviously great form he was in last season for us, and certainly form for a goalkeeper every championship team needs.
What he did in last year's final to help you guys win, how would you look at that in retrospect?
Well, I think it's just the definition of putting your body on the line for your team and doing everything within your power to make sure your team has every chance it has to win a game. So Max has no ego, and I mean that in every positive sense of the way. He has an ego, every athlete does, but doesn't put his first in front of the team. And I see that on a daily basis. And we're truly blessed to have Max and John and Abraham as our goalkeepers.
And lastly, just the chance for, Max missed the celebration, he missed the end of the game. For him to have the chance, the opportunity to perhaps have those things, just what that means to this club.
It would be great. He was there on Zoom. I know probably in a lot of pain and not in the same environment he would like to have been there, but I know he was definitely in our thoughts and was a part of the celebrations. But yeah, of course, we all want to repeat and for Max to be there in person. That would be great.
Josh Gross, the LA Daily News. It's a repeat chance for the organization, for yourself and some of the players here, but a lot of newcomers did not experience that last year. What's been the impact of the new players on this team, and who are you looking to really make an impact in the Cup final?
If I knew, this would be much easier. And I share those same words with the players. I don't know who is going to influence the game in a positive or negative way, if so. And that's what I love about these games in particular. These games are decided by the players. And the officials, in my opinion, have done a great job in our matches. And I'm positive that they'll do a great job in the final to let the players decide who the champion of the league is. And I don't know. But, we did have a pretty large restructure of our roster, mostly due to rules and regulations and budgeting and all that stuff. So it has been awesome to see a new group come together and be just as hungry as the group last year, but certainly has differences about them in the way we play. We've gotten a little younger as well off the bench, and have some real high potential players. But all of the new players, I don't want to pick anyone out, but I think very impactful. If I do, it's Matty Bogues just had a fantastic year for us. Sergi Palenci's come up big for us. Just to name two, obviously Aaron Long has come in this year and has been a steady force in the back. So a lot of players have come in and done well. But I think for me, just highlighting the group like I did and saying, starting with I think 8 or 9 new players, and to play in a similar fashion and maybe just as successful, although we can finish, is quite a feat, and we're very proud of that so far.
One more from me, if I could. On Giorgio Chiellini, Ryan Hollingshead was great after the match, talking about how much he enjoys watching MLS strikers try to go up against Giorgio. It gives him a lot of pleasure to do that. Why is Giorgio, at the age of 39, still so successful, and what is he doing that's really making it difficult on attackers in this league?
Well, I just think his, even now, he is, without a doubt, the biggest student of the game. Watching all MLS teams, players, video, after games, in the plane, on the way there, asking questions, getting our players to watch more video, making sure he knows all of his opponents inside and out before he faces them, which is very true to all the top defenders around the world. You never stop learning in this game. I'm still learning a ton every day. And if you're open to that, you will always improve. And I think that's been a pleasure to watch in our environment here. And I'm very grateful that Giorgio is passing those lessons on to some of the players in our organization and some of the younger guys. And if you're not completely buying, you will see that and learn from it. And hopefully our young boys are.
Edward Kowich, LA Times en Español. Steve, can you tell us how was your day off? Do you try to not to think about the game on Saturday, or
No, downtime is very important. And I thankfully have 2 amazing kids and a wife who can take me away from this. We spent a great day at the beach, had a nice meal, watched the sunset, picked up seashells and lobster tails and what was left of crabs. So it was a great day off. But now we're back at work and focused.
Just one more. LAFC play a lot of games this season, a lot of tough games. Do you consider this one, thinking about that there's so many good teams in the league, so many competitive, making it to the final, do you consider this a successful season already, or you have to win on Saturday?
Absolutely. It's a successful season. To play at this level throughout the entire season consistently, yes, there was a small hiatus in the summertime due to injuries and just fatigue, which I think is totally acceptable and expected. Yeah, it's a success already. But this group is not okay with just that. They obviously want more.
Thank you.
Coach Celso Oliveira with Territory MLS. Question about Christian Oliveira, a new incoming player for your team in the middle of the year. How has he changed the offense? Maybe made things easier for Denis to score the goals that he did in the second part of the year? And what about the comparisons with the other Uruguayan on the other side, Diego Rossi? Can you make any?
Yeah, I mean, obviously both physically quite talented, physical specimens, can run all day, Diego as well. Kike, possibly a little more explosive. And I think defensively might have the edge there as far as bite and tackling goes, and just wearing down defenders with and without the ball. So yeah, he has given us some verticality on the right side of the pitch, which we haven't had in a while, and allows us elsewhere, maybe more importantly, Carlos, to find spots in between lines. And it gives us a threat on the right and on the left and behind, which teams have had to deal with. And it's been successful for us. And Kike's physical performances, his running has been second to none and on the field for us. And we're looking for another good performance from him this weekend. And it's been a great addition for us.
Okay, one more for me. A lot of light on the players, but obviously you and Wilfred being very successful in the last couple of years. How does that impact this? Is it really a chess match between 2 coaches going at it, or is it really up to the players on the field at this point?
No, never about myself. I can't speak for Wilfred. From afar, judging his work, it's excellent work. But I'm not there every day. I don't hear what's going on inside, so it's not fair for me to pass judgment. But and for myself, I honestly could care less. I am in it for the players and this organization, and it brings me joy to see them celebrate. Nothing more and nothing less.
Do you want Carlos to stay for the next season?
I love working with Carlos. He's a great guy. Every day is a joy watching his left foot in training and in games. It's special. And that's up to him and LAFC. I'll find out on January 13th when we restart.
Thank you.
Yep.
You mentioned some of the roster turnover, and Aaron Long, he's a SoCal native. He came back home, and now he's playing in an MLS Cup in the community he grew up with. What has his impact been on this team, this roster this season, this club?
Yeah, I mean, he's an experienced center back in the league and with our U.S. national team, and he brings a level like past starters with Giorgio and Murray. Aaron is at the same level. We can start all three. It's pretty incredible to have three players of that nature and that level. And it's just really trying to find the right mix. And Aaron has come up for us big time this year. Obviously on the field, we can all see that, but off the field. Yes, you mentioned he is at home. There is a piece about him, and he likes being here. And he's helped us be successful all season long through his leadership off the field as well and in the locker room. I think he's a very likable person and has filled an important leadership role in this group.
Thanks. We'll go to questions on Zoom now.
Thank you. As we transition, Coach, we'll start with Charles Bowen. Charles, please proceed.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
I can.
Thanks for your time. I wanted to ask about the two strikers in this match. First, Denis. I know you've talked about him plenty this year, but he has produced at such a high level and has such a tactical challenge for opponents. Could you just give a little more insight into kind of how effective he's been and how you guys have enabled him to be so effective in the way he's deployed?
Yeah, I think when he came last season, it took a little bit for him to understand our model and our model to understand him. What Denis does to opponents physically and with the ball, he did in France. That was easy for everyone to see and for everyone to scout. I think what we've added is just kind of matched or married his qualities on and off the ball to our game model, and that sometimes takes time and coaching. And his finishing in and around the box, I take zero credit for it. That is all Ante Razov, our offensive coach, and who's kind of the brains behind our goal scoring and helping out our wingers. And unfortunately, Ante has also coached Diego Rossi, and so he's taught him a few things as well. I think it's a mix of his talents, what he brings, his attributes, but also the coaching and our game model fits very well to him. So.
And then on the other side, you have Cucho, who has been almost as productive and very effective for Columbus. How do you rate him, and how do you address the threat that he poses?
Yeah, he's a full package. He's technically good. He's physically good. He's savvy. I think he's intelligent. He knows where to float, kind of being off the shoulder of defenders. Has played at a very high level. He's the full package. So we have our hands full, and shutting him down is unfortunately not the only task our defenders have, our team has Saturday. There are other prolific attackers on their team, and it's obviously offensively a very talented team. But he's a big one, and it'll be a difficult task.
Thanks.
We'll take our next question from Christian Moraes. Christian, please proceed.
Hey coach, good afternoon. Christian Moraes from Territory MLS Brazil. One of LFC's positive points is its defense. In the regular season, they only conceded 39 goals. In the playoffs, they conceded 3 in 5 games. In this final, the main factor that could give the club the title is the strong defensive system. Thanks.
If I don't answer your question properly, it's because the tone was a little off, but correct me or ask another question if you need more. I think strong defensive teams or teams who have strong defensive structure have good chances to win finals, but just defending will not win. You still need to score as well. So for me, it's not just highlighting one or the other. It's always staying in balance. Having enough of the ball and enough firepower offensively to hurt opponents, to take some sting out of their own attack is very important, but obviously weathering the storm a little bit and having to defend deeper at times, having the solutions there too, is also part of it. So always trying to find the balance and never relying too much on one or the other phase. And but certainly, I think our defensive performances, really since the Galaxy game, have been outstanding, and it's something we talk about and work on. And it will be imperative to have another outstanding defensive performance if we want to raise another trophy.
We'll take our next question from Scott Churchson. Scott, excuse me, please proceed.
Sorry about that, my bad. Happy Tuesday. I'm Scott Churchson, Stream Punk Sports. Talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about playing on the road for this final against a Columbus team that has a very, very strong home record. Thanks.
Yeah, playing on the road is, in our league, difficult. And I think if you just look at the records across the board, it's difficult. And if you add some travel in there too, time zone change, I think that would definitely speak for our home teams. But finals are a little different, and we'll arrive a couple days prior, so I'm not sure the travel plays a role. The weather seems to be okay, not California sun like we're used to, especially right now, but not too cold, so hopefully that stays decent for us. We know their strengths at home, but they're play very similar away from home, so it is just a very good team, whether they're home or away. And just look at the statistics, why they're good. That backs it up. If you take the same ones, we do pretty well ourselves. And when you match them up against each other, it's going to make for a nice tight final. That's what we expect, a very competitive game. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll see which players come up at the right times and make big plays, and that's hopefully what it comes down to. And we'll do our best to put our players in a position to be successful.
Coach, seeing no additional questions in the Zoom queue, we want to thank you for your time today and wish you the best of luck on Saturday.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got one more here.
Very responsive, Orange County Register. Congrats. So all the new players you've had this year, as rigorous or as hard as the season, as long as the season has been, is there like a secret philosophically the way you guys go about your business that allows you to sort of maintain this level?
Secret? I don't think so. A lot of our training sessions, we have a lot of guests, so I'm an open book. So for me, it's just people first, really, and players second. So treating everybody as people and building relationships is really important. Understanding that we have work to accomplish, but we want to do it in a way where we enjoy it too. So it's okay to laugh, it's okay to have fun, but it's just as okay to sweat and to learn. And creating an environment for that is something that we pay close attention to, and so far it's been okay.
Is it fair to say that your answer about Carlos returning, that's the same answer you gave about Max returning?
Yeah, I'll give you the same answer to any player whose contract
You're not
is up.
involved in
I'm honestly not really. I'm not focused on it at all. John and his staff have done an amazing job of reconstructing this roster and building last year's roster, and they'll do the same next year. And they do it in a way where the humans are also treated in the right way, as much as you can with the rules we have. It all comes to an abrupt end pretty quickly due to the way things work in our league. And I have always thoughts on how we can improve that, but I will not share those today.
Well, it's interesting in that, if we were going to look at what might have been a weak spot for LAFC in its earlier seasons, might have been goalkeeping. And it was a little bit hit and miss. And when Max came here, and with John coming here as a backup, it's become solidified, and where you're one of the best goalkeeping teams in the league.
Yeah, it just shows how important every position is. And, I wish we were all able to build rosters where we can treat every position as it should be treated. And I think that's just look at our teams we face in the Champions League. That's a big advantage some of those teams have. They can financially treat every position the same. and we just don't have that luxury. And so we do our best, and John is obviously one of the best at his job, and he'll do it again.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Good luck.
Thank you.